What's going on, everybody? Your boy Man Up back at you with one more video today. Starring my good buddy right here, Mr. Peter Griffin, in a little show that we like to call What Really Grinds My Gears. Now, me and my wife were talking a couple of days ago, and for some reason it stuck in my brain. Maybe because it was telling me I need to do a video about this or whatever. But I asked my wife this one question. I said, how come if a man gets with a younger girl, it's a RAPE culture? You know, I got to spell it out. I can't say it because of YouTube. But it's that kind of culture, RAPE. But if a woman gets with a younger guy, she's a cougar. How come, if a black man gets with a woman of a different race, black women get upset, talk noise, blah, blah, blah. But black woman gets with a man of a different race, it's supposed to be okay. How come, women talk about this equality crap, but they want the man to remain traditional and take care of the home and take care of everything. But the woman wants to work, make all this money, but they don't want to be the breadwinner. They don't want to be, they don't want to be modern. They don't want to be traditional. I kept going. And what made this conversation come about is one day me and my wife were watching TV. And it was something that this person said on TV that was kind of contradictory to what they said before, like a couple of days before. And my wife was like, I guess this world is full of contradictions. I said in my head, you think? That's what, all us men have been talking about for the longest. It's nothing but contradiction. And most of it is on the woman's side. You got a few that's on the men's side. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not. There is. But most of it benefits women. So I guess my point in saying all this is, why is it a lot of things is contradicted that's in a woman's favor? So I kept going. I started saying, okay, how come if a man have a lot of kids, he's a deadbeat, he's irresponsible, blah, blah, blah. But if a woman have a lot of kids, she's not a deadbeat, she's not irresponsible. It's on the men that constantly get with her. These men are leaving her. She thought that he would be the one for her and blah, blah, blah. It's like, wait a minute. You haven't learned your lesson? Not to even go down that road anymore? You know what I'm saying? How come, excuse me, how come, there's a lot of contradictions in this world, but women refuse to see it. No, they see it, but they refuse to acknowledge it. But they definitely will use them to their advantage. You see what I'm saying? Oh, they can be a breadwinner making millions of dollars more than you. Well, but let y'all get a divorce or whatever. You paying child support, you paying them alimony, you have to pay for this and pay for that. But then, in my head, I kept going. Because I started talking about the child support system. And I was thinking to myself, I said, there are a lot of men on child support paying child support for a child that's not his. And the video I did the other day about the man paying child support, I said, well, this man's overspent time with his kids and was overpaid on child support. So that means he was not in the rear, he was in the plus. You see what I'm saying? It's like they owed him money. But he still went to jail. But they want to say it's in the best interest of the child. I guess what I was asking is, my wife, I'm like, how come y'all women never really pay attention to that stuff? Y'all never want to acknowledge it until you're able to use it in your advantage. She was like, I don't know, you got to ask those women. Now, I wasn't actually asking my wife why she do that. Don't get me wrong. It was just a generalized question. But I guess what I was asking is, I'm acknowledging there are some things that are in a man's favor, and we can use those to our advantage. But my question is, how come women don't want to acknowledge these things until they can use these things to their advantage? You get my point? See, and that's what I'm saying. I acknowledge that I'm stronger than a woman. I can, I have more strength, and you know what I'm saying? And I will use that to my advantage. But the women have the laws and the court systems to their advantage. And no, that ain't true. But as soon as they break up with a guy, they quick to go and take everything they have that they know they can use to their advantage. My question here is this. When are we going to say, if you want to be equal, it got to be all or nothing? When are you going to realize that being these contradictions and this so-called equality crap is not really what y'all think it is? See, and what further made me think about this here is the guy that used to be in that, I cannot think of the name of the R&B group. It was a little boy band back in the day. What was that boy's name? Marquise Houston. There we go. He just married he's like, 40 years old. He married a 20-year-old. And that's another thing me and my wife were talking about. I say, see, this is what I'm talking about. But you got R&B singer Erykah Badu, who is like 50. She got with a 27-year-old. See, and another thing that got me is rapper Dr. Dre is celebrating his divorce. He had basically a divorce party. And women got upset, talking about that's tacky, that's classless, that's wrong, you don't do that. But we see women all the time celebrating their divorce, celebrating, a breakup, things like that. Having a divorce vacation, all that crap. Excuse me there. Had to adjust my screen. And nobody says anything about the women. But it's like when the man do the same exact thing, there's a problem. Like, women will fuss at the child for whatever reason. But then when the man fuss at the child for whatever reason, there's a problem. Or, your voice is deeper, it carries further. No, fuck all that. Now you're just making excuses. What I'm saying is, I know this is kind of all over the place. But what I'm trying to get at is, we all know that there's a huge contradiction in this world. And I'm trying to figure out what is it that we as a people can do to change that. How come it's okay on one side but not the other? You see what I'm saying? Whether it's in favor of the man or the woman, how come, you know what I'm saying, it's okay on one but not the other when it's the same exact thing being done? You see what I'm saying? Like I said, a man could get with a younger woman. It's called the RAPE culture. You know, I got to spell that because of YouTube, and I am not really talking about that. But that's what it's called. But when a woman gets with a younger man, she's a cougar. Or they're going to refer to that old movie, how Stella got her groove back. You see what I'm saying? You get my point? I guess all I'm saying here is this, and I'm going to go ahead and end this, is that we as a people, I think we got to change these things. So this world could be a better place, so it could be fair for everybody, and we can all be more happy. We have less issues in this world. If that makes sense. Hey, that could be a start. Make the laws even for everybody. Like, for example, I even told my wife this. I said, because we took a vacation to New York, I want to say that was 2018, I think it was. And right when we finna ready to come home, like a day or so before we finna ready to pack up and come home, there was this woman that got caught, you know, being inappropriate, sexually inappropriate with one of her students. She was a teacher. She got pregnant. She did not get fired, suspended, no jail time, no nothing. All she was told to do was to resign. She kept her teacher's license, and she was able to go to another district to teach. But we all know when men do that, ooh-wee. You see what I'm saying? You see the hypocrisy, the contradictions? You see what I'm saying? Why is that? You get my point. That's why I say I think a lot of problems in this world, in this country at least, I'm gonna put it like that, but I'm gonna go ahead and say the world would be solved if there wasn't a lot of contradictions and a lot of hypocrisy. You could do it, I can't. It's okay on this side, but not on that side. Oh, but when you do it, this is the reason why it's bad. No, it should be bad all the way around. If I can't, you can't. If you can, I can. You know, don't make it a battle of the sexes, is what I'm saying. But for some reason, it is. So I guess that's my question. Why is it a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of contradictions, and a lot of battle of the sexes? Makes no sense. With all that being said, this is your boy Man Up. I'm Chunking the Deuce. I'll holler at y'all.